This episode of Behind These Walls takes us inside the private home which once served as Smithfield's library. While books, shelves, and cozy nooks for reading remain components of this house, this story encompasses more than just the Dewey Decimal System. Originally Lot 40 in Smithfield's 1750 survey, this 1/3 of an acre had no permanent structure on its steep embankment until 1892, when B.P. Chapman and his wife Florence built a home. The original home had 2 rooms on the west side of a central hall and 1 room on the east with a porch. It was constructed with the Victorian-style architecture popular at the time. Its features include a steeply pitched roofline and ornate gables. A number of homes along Church Street still showcase these characteristics. Other features included fireplaces in every room and a call bell located on the floor, used to summon a butler or domestic servant by stepping on it. These worked via a complex system of wires. Chapman, in the ham business, had several smokehouses behind his home. Some of these foundations are still visible today. Upon his death in 1931, Chapman's unmarried daughter, Cora Lee Chapman, remodeled the home into its current and more Georgian-style frame structure with a hipped roof, front rooms to square off the floor plan, and a brick entrance with a recessed front door. The home also has an attic and an underground basement. In 1945, Miss Chapman willed her house, the lot, and $5,000 to the Smithfield Library Association for use as a library. When it first opened with 100 books on its shelves, patrons were charged 10 cents a week for each library book checked out and 2 cents a day for overdue books. When Cora Lee Chapman's former home was prepared for its use as Benjamin P. Chapman Memorial Library, the expanded collection of 8,000 volumes moved in. There was a room for fiction, a room for nonfiction, a children's room, circulation room, storage and meeting space. Upstairs were rooms for genealogical research and local history. In 1948, charter member of the Library Association, Ann Full McCowling, gave a lecture to the Junior Women's Club of Smithfield and said, "I believe that you will never let this beautiful home cease to be a library, and that you will be willing to work to keep it as an asset to you, to your children, and to your town forever." Growth, however, necessitated change. New books, staffing, and committed volunteers, programs, civic groups all contributed to the library's expansion. And in 1989, the library was moved to its present location on the old Smithfield High School property on James Street. Its name was changed to the Isle of Wight County Library, Smithfield Branch, as part of the Blackwater Regional Library System. In 1994, this former library was sold and converted back to a residence. For several years in the early 2000s, the home was operated as a bed and breakfast. The current homeowners have long loved historic houses, and when it was again for sale in 2005, the call of this particular building was strong.
We moved here from Kilmarnock on the water up there on the Chesapeake Bay, and we came to visit Smithfield for the weekend. Saw the house, never dreamed of moving, had never been to Smithfield, and came by the house and the sign was out there, so we went back, sold our house in 2 days, and there we were.
They loved the building's architecture, its moldings, its radiators, its fireplaces, its shutters, and more.
And I spotted the old moldings in the house, which intrigued me. Well, I just loved everything about it. We both did. Loved everything about it. Nothing did we not like. All the fireplaces are original, with the exception of this mantle. And that came out of a home on Main Street where the bank is now. The shutters on the inside were all collected by the lady that owned the home before us, and she brought them in herself from the outside and started just putting them in each window as they fit. And they were still originally hadn't been preserved or anything, and so we were able to preserve each one. Some of them go up, some of them go down, some of them open, some of them don't, but they're original. every day we say how much we love the house and everything about it. We love having fireplaces in every room. Even the basement has a fireplace. It's just warm and special and lends itself to a good life.
Making a home your own is a process for any new homeowner.
The house was on a steep embankment, on a hill. I guess that's why that's called Hill Street out there. And they had steep steps in the back, so that our dogs, when they first got here, couldn't even go down those steps. They were that steep. So of course, when we restored it, that was one of the first things that we did. But in the meantime, we built the backyard up 7 feet.
Other changes included improvements to the kitchen, wiring, and the addition of an elevator.
We made sure Pete had everything planned, and the contractor that did all of our restoration kept it in mind. They want to be here forever.
While the owners and their dogs love their home, and while the sign on the door reflects the building's previous history, sometimes members of the community still think of it as a library.
I had a computer in the utility room down here, and I was sitting there one day working on my computer, and I heard this person come in the front door, walk down the hallway. I could hear her walk and hear the footsteps. So I turned around from the computer, and she looked at me in the doorway, and I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "I'm here for a women's club meeting." And I said, "I'm sorry, but there's no women's club meeting here today." And she said, "Well, am I in the library?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, you're in the old library." But we've had many people walk in the front door or knock on the front door, just assuming it was a library. Everybody has good memories of this place. No bad memories. No bad memories. We appreciate it just as much as they did. More so that we had the privilege of living in here.